All right, we're rolling.
All right, awesome. Thank you everyone so much for being here. I know that it's Mother's Day, so if you're a mother, happy Mother's Day. Whether that be children or fur children. I like to say I'm a mother because I have a fur baby. But yeah, so thank you so much for being on here. To anyone tuning in who couldn't make it because of the holiday, we completely understand. And we're happy that you're watching it on the recording. So my name is Kim Drisdell. I'm going to be your host for tonight. I am coming to you from Newfoundland, Canada. So I am on the very east coast of the country, and I'm so excited to see you all here. Again, thank you so much for being here. These calls are for you and your team. So if there's anybody who you know was going to make it to tonight's call, you don't see them on yet, please do us a favor and either send them a text message, Facebook message, give them a quick call and let them know that we are started. They can join in at any time. Just make sure that they are muted to respect those that are speaking because we don't want to have any background noise. It can be pretty distracting. So I'm just going to run down a little bit of what these calls entail. Now, tonight's call is a little bit different, and I'm going to explain that as well. But I'm just going to start off by saying that this call is to unite all Star Canada folks. This call was started by the Star Canada Committee. Thank you, everyone who's on that committee. I know how much time and dedication you put onto it, and we appreciate you so much. The Star Canada Committee is a committee that is made up of Start age peeps from around Canada. We have representatives from almost every province, from all the way from BC on the west coast, Newfoundland to the east coast. We've got lots of representatives from up north, Iqaluit. So thank you so much for everyone on that committee for getting these calls going. I always do a special shout out to Tinya and Morgan because you two are complete rock stars and really make sure that we stay committed to everything that we say we're going to do, which is so important. So we meet every Sunday evening. Again, tonight's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to explain that, but we do meet every Sunday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern time. I always got to do that time conversion in my head because I am the farthest ahead of everyone, I think. But we meet at 8 p.m. to get together to provide the tools, support, coaching, and inspiration so your belief is a 10 out of 10 in all areas and you feel unstoppable at sharing this amazing gift. So these calls are led by people just like you, and we want to offer each and every one of you the same opportunity. If you are somebody who's looking to leap out of your comfort zone, take on more of a leadership role, we would love to see you host a call, be a starter in the spotlight, or get more involved. Now, like I mentioned before, the calls are going to change a little bit more, and I think Tinya is going to maybe mention that, or I'll mention that. Either way, we'll talk about it a little bit more in this call, but if you do want to get more involved, we would love to have you here. Please reach out to myself, Tinya, Morgan Parker, or you can write us on the Start Canada Facebook page. That's what I'm looking for. And we will definitely get you hooked up with some other ways for you to lead. And we would be so excited to see other people in here. The other thing I'm going to mention is we do have a chat box down below. It should have a little chat symbol. Absolutely, please, if you have any questions or comments while someone's speaking, please put it in the chat. We are always watching the chat, and there's always lots of funny things going on in there. So please engage as much as possible if you would like. So who are we? To anybody who might be watching this on YouTube or maybe is on here for the first time, we are just a fired up group of youngsters with a common vision to ignite all young people and to own their lives physically and financially, and through our contributions, create freedom and a lasting legacy. Who can get pumped up about that? I love that. I love that so much. I'm even wearing my Star Canada shirt with, you can't really see it, but I'm not going to turn around. But we have all those words on the back. I love that. It gets me so pumped up every single time I say it. So we are a health and wellness company, but we don't make any claims to treat, diagnose, or cure any illness or disease. No two bodies are the same. So results can vary, but everybody's body is different, and amazing things can happen when you put superfood nutrition in your body. We also have a financial opportunity, which is really what we're going to be focusing on here, and especially tonight. And again, we don't make any claims to how much money somebody can make with the company, but something I love so much about this company is that you really get out what you put in. So while we don't make any claims, again, when somebody puts a lot of work in, amazing things can happen. Yeah, sorry, I keep looking at my phone only because it's like doing this weird flashy thing. I'm not really sure what's going on, so I just put it behind my laptop. Anyway, so like I said before, tonight's call is going to be a little bit differently. We are going to make it quite a bit shorter than normal, and we don't actually have a starter in the spotlight tonight. Now, normally we start off with a starter in the spotlight, which is an amazing time for somebody's start age to show sort of what their journey has been with our products and kind of share some of their successes and anything that they want to share with the group. So tonight we're actually not going to have a start on the spotlight, and we're going to have Tinya talk a little bit more about something called Go Week. So the next 5 weeks are going to be some pretty intensive business training for Start Canada, and I'm so excited for it. I've already had a couple people message me and ask me what is going on. So Tinya is going to explain what is going on for the next 5 weeks, what the calls are going to look like, and what Go Week is, and how you can get involved and really reach out to help more people transform their life physically, financially, and in any way that you can really reach out and help them. And that is what I love so much about this company, is it's all about serving others and contributing more. So Tinya, I'm going to hand this over to you now. You can explain anything else that I missed out. And like I said before, guys, if you have any questions or comments, put them in the chat and I'll be reading through them.
Whoop, whoop. Awesome, you guys. Give it up for Kim. And I want to give it up for Kim. She's joined us after she says what she has a TED Talk hangover. She did a TED Talk yesterday, of all things. So she is going to be sharing that with us because I can't wait to see that. And we're super proud of you representing. And you're amazing. So look forward to seeing that and hearing more about that. So thanks, you guys, for jumping on. Hello to those of you that have just joined in. Hey, Tara. Lovely to see you. Hey. Taylor, Ray, and crew. So good to see you guys here. So as Kim mentioned, tonight's call will be a little shorter than normal unless we get into some major conversations, which we can, but feel free to check out after 30 minutes if you want to. And it is being recorded. The purpose of tonight, as she said, is to go through what is a Go Week. So how many of you have been with Isagenix for 6 months or less? How many? Okay, so Chelsea, way to go, Chelsea. How many of you, yeah, that's what I said, not from alcohol, from the TED Talk. How many of you have been with Isagenix for 6 months or more? 1 year or more? 2 years or more? 3 years or more? 4 years or more? Okay. Okay, so how many of you are exactly where you want to be with your business and everything is going exactly the way you want it to? How many of you would really love things to get frickin' rockin' in your business? Awesome. Okay. So have you guys heard of a push week or a run week or a go week before? Yes? Have you guys done a push week or a run week or a go week before? How many of you have attempted it and kind of half-assed it like me? Okay, because I've had some in the past where, to be honest with you, I kind of half-assed it, right? Being real here. So tonight is a conversation, you guys, so don't feel you have to stay muted the whole time. If you want to chat it up in the box, chat it up in the box. Okay, so I'm going to be totally, completely honest. Can I be totally honest with you guys? Of course I can. I hated, like really, really did not like, felt sick to my stomach, heebie-jeebies, run weeks, push weeks in the past. And it wasn't until the last one really that I finally felt my flow. And the reason is because it was self-inflicted pressure. I put it on myself. I didn't have to receive that pressure from other people, but I compared, I pushed, I felt pressured. I didn't feel comfortable. I had all the mental talk that I wasn't doing enough, that I wasn't doing it right, that I didn't know who to talk to. I didn't know what to say, like all the stories, right? You guys have all heard those stories before maybe. So that was why I totally avoided them like the plague, or I would pretend to do them, but really not do them. Okay, I love organizing. I love getting prepped. But then it would come time for the week and I'd do squat and wonder why my business wasn't really growing. So would it be really cool if we were to approach this? And the reason that we have come to Start Canada with this is because maybe some of you are not super connected and plugged into a team. Is that the case for some of you? You feel maybe a little bit orphaned, you're not really closely connected with your team. Okay. And maybe some of you sort of, okay. So, and then some of you may have an amazing support team, but, may want to diversify a little bit and work with different people, different age perspectives, different, whatever it is, right? And I really feel that personally, I've learned sometimes more from people I'm not financially linked to because I've had such different perspectives. And there was we're not, it's like, working with someone who you're not related to, like there's just a different vibe about it. So what we thought is, what about if we, in combination with the team success, and the other Go Week that a lot of people are doing, what if we were to do one with Start Canada? Because here's what I'll tell you. This call has been going for over a year and a bit, and it's been amazing. Personally, I know what the potential is for each and every one of you with what you guys can do with your business. I know that we would love to start seeing, and you would love to start being recognized more, you know, for your business growth, for your personal growth, for your team growth, you know, to see more Canadians in the Start 1000, to have some Canadian ambassadors. How amazing would that be? And that's not from a competition standpoint. That's just from a life growth and a contribution, you know, and a give back perspective, right? So do you guys agree that it's really time? It's really our year this year? Yes. Awesome. Okay. You guys are all muted. So I'm expecting there's lots of excitement and I can feel it through the screen. Woohoo! Okay. Awesome. Okay. So that's what this is about. All right. So in combination with whatever you've got going on with your team, it's not that you're to feel divided and to feel like you've got all these make work projects. This is just in addition to all of you guys on the screen and anyone else who's in Start Canada that puts their hand up and says, yep, tonight's kind of an invitation. You may decide this isn't for me. I'm not interested. And that's totally cool. We're going to meet you where you're at. You might decide like freaking right. It's time. Like it's beyond time for me to do something. And that's what we're going to do. That's what we're here to do. So the only pressure you're going to feel is that pressure that you put on yourself. This is called a Go for Growth week. And growth means that you're growing in some way, shape, or form. Okay? As a person, you're learning how to connect more effectively. You're learning how to follow up more effectively. You're learning how to close people more effectively. You're learning how to set them up for success so they don't fall off. What if every person we ever got started stayed eating the food? How cool would that be, right? Our businesses would be completely different if we had at least 80% retention instead of 80% not staying on, right? So that's what this week is about. You can decide, I'm a rank person, I'm going for Crystal Executive, I'm going for 1-star, I'm going for 2-star, and that's your goal. You can decide, you know what, I just haven't been connecting consistently. So for me, my goal is to connect with, 2 new people, follow up with 2 people, and pour greatness into 2 people every day, or 3 by 3. You determine what your goals are. You determine what it is that you want to have as an outcome as a result of doing this program together. Does that make sense? Okay, some of you guys probably have a pretty good idea as to what your goal might be, right? We do have a Crystal Exec deadline by July 13th. How amazing would it be to achieve that deadline, to earn the extra, $1,100 Canadian plus $111 for each consultant that you co-create? Imagine what if you hit, 10 cycles? What if you hit the 5-cycle bonus, the 10-cycle bonus, whatever that is? Those of you that may be sitting on the fence as far as celebration goes, what difference would it make for you to have an extra $1,000 or $2,000 come into your bank account? Celebration's not a challenge when you've got an extra grand or 2 to play with, right? Because you've helped, 10 lives or 20 lives or whatever that is. So that's really what this is all about. So far, you guys good to go? Are you interested in this and excited about it? Awesome. Okay. So what this is going to look like, and I put a document in Start Canada. Tonight is just kind of the conversation to get it going. This week, I know, right? I'm super stoked about it. This week is all about just kind of getting you prepped. So following the checklist, getting your things in order, still connecting. Don't ever stop connecting. We should never stop connecting. All right. But this week is about getting things in order. And we're talking about the week that we're actually going to do the Go week is June the 12th to the 18th. There will be a shake release that week. We don't know what it is. I honestly don't know what it is. And even if I did, I couldn't tell you anyways, because I'd probably have to get taken out or hidden. So I don't know what it is, but there will be a shake release that week. Now, that's not to say that we're going to hold signing anyone up until that week. Okay, we have to still put people in consistently. More peach mango. I know this, seriously, that's my favorite one of all the seasonal ones. So we're going to keep doing things every week leading up to it. But that week is when it's going to be a big week, because with the last Go week, what we saw was, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but we saw a lot of Zooms happening. And in the Zooms that they did, sometimes what did they do in those Zooms? They gave away what? Type it in the chat. What did they give away on those Zoom calls for people that jumped on? Codes. Codes for what? Free enrollment. That might happen again, right? Might happen again. So that's really cool, because there's going to be a lot of them happening that week as well. So let me back up. Okay, so Go week is a week that you have committed. So basically it's the month, all right? You're going to start planning ahead, but that specific week is you're going to commit to engaging in massive momentum. like taking action like you never have before. All right. And the beautiful thing is it's a team approach. So all of us are working together, whether we're financially linked or not, we're all in momentum together. So whatever we decide to set up, you know, whether it's a Zoom, you know, a couple times that week to say, hey, we're all going to get on Zoom together for the next half an hour. We're going to reach out to people to book appointments, you know, whatever. We're working together to take more action than we have before. That is the intention. It's an opportunity to step outside of your comfort zone. And I don't even call it the comfort zone. I call it the familiar zone, because I know a lot of us say that we're comfortable. We're not comfortable. That's just crap, right? We're not comfortable. We're familiar with where we're at, so it feels okay. But we'd rather get into the unfamiliar zone so that we can create some new realities for ourselves and for our families, right? It's a time that you'll believe in also what you put out is what you get back. So it's, you know, the universe, higher power, whatever you believe in, is going to partner with you on whatever you're thinking, you're feeling, you're saying, you're being. So if on one hand you've written the goal, you know, all over your house, crystal executive, and then back here you're like, yeah, but I don't really think that's going to happen. Yeah, but what if so-and-so doesn't do this? Like, oh my gosh, that's going to be so hard. The universe is going to be like, okay, she's not ready. Okay, he's not ready, right? So we have to get everything in sync. I'm going to work with you guys on mindset and everything in sync so that we totally ask for it. We are open to receiving it, and we allow it to come into our lives, right? Because that's an important piece. And then as a result, what's going to happen? Even if you set your goal stinking high, like even if you decide, you know what, I'm going for 3-star, I'm going for 4-star, whatever. The worst thing that's going to happen is that you are going to move forward. You are going to grow your business, and you may not hit that massive goal. But what if you set your goal too low and you really could surpass it? You don't know. So set the bar. You know, set the bar so that you actually work closer towards that goal. So it's a great time for rank advancement, great time for highest cycle week. I know for myself, I didn't personally in the last one hit a rank advancement, but I hit my highest cycle week ever. And that was a beautiful thing because that meant the team all cycled more. And that was what I was really going for, right? And it was through organic, like it was organically that my cycles went that high, which was what I really wanted. And what I mean by that is that I didn't want to jump super duper duper ridiculous and then drop like super, super, super low. So I wanted to be able to organically get it to that place. 5-cycle bonus. We've got all these other bonuses available. You know, what if you could make more in 1 week than you've made in 4 in your business? Would that be awesome? Pretty cool, right? And, you know, like I said, helping your team reach outside of your comforts, outside of their norm, you know, help them reach their goals, help them build their confidence, because we all know that no one goes anywhere unless we help each other go someplace, right? In this business, which is beautiful. And, you know, it's said all the time, we're in business, you know, by ourselves, but not like for ourselves, but not by ourselves. We're all in this together. So the big picture is you're going to be setting your goal. We're going to be preparing weekly. We're going to have a checklist of things to focus on, as well as our typical income producing activities, but we'll have a special sort of checklist of things to go through. And we've got to kind of divide it up. So some of you are newer, just kind of getting your feet wet. We don't want you to be freaking out thinking, oh my gosh, like this is ridiculous. Like this is just too much. You know, for those of you that are new sharers, it will be completely doable. But here's the thing that I'm going to tell you is that myself, and I know Jason, when you started, this may have been true for you too. We have so many more tools and systems available now than when we started. Like honestly, we have got everything in place for us. It's impossible to not succeed. And if you do not follow the systems, that's where you're not going to succeed. So now it is all laid out. So what we want to do is help you get really familiar with your systems, help you get yourself organized and set up for success. And it's like I've said before, if you guys had a launch party or you had 10 people on a Zoom and they all wanted to sign up tomorrow, would you be ready to manage that? And that is what we're going to do with these calls each week, is get you set up so that this becomes a part of, you know, like someone said to me the other night, she said, oh, I just can't do the belly buster. Like I always forget at night. And I said, okay, do you brush your teeth before you go to bed? She goes, yeah, every day. I go, oh, so why don't you do the belly buster at night? Like it just has to become a habit. You know what I mean? It just has to become a habit. And that's what this stuff is going to do. When you go to your job, you have your checklist of what your duties are at your job. When you are at school and you are prepping for an exam, you know the system you go through to get ready for your exam. your Isagenix business is to be the same way. The only difference is you're your own boss. You don't have someone kicking your ass, or you don't have a teacher telling you you have to prep for your assignment on this day. You're the one who has to tell yourself to do that. But we're going to help you get some of these systems in place to do that effectively. Is that a cool thing? Good. All right. Probably you guys have a list, but we want you to update your list. You're welcome. We want you to update your list. Okay, the list should be constantly growing and constantly evolving. All right. And get you really feeling confident with who you're going to connect with and how you can connect with them. What are your demographics? What are your circle networks? How can you reach into them? How to present Isagenix. We're going to work on increasing order baskets. How to enroll people with the new Customer First program. Completing your weekly task list. We are going to do our call every Sunday night, 8 o'clock, and that is going to be to go over what we're working on for the next week. Okay, so I will be asking Janie Snellgrove, Pam Barnum, Christy Shaver. Those are the three that have really come up a lot. I will be asking them to jump on. There's also a couple of people who have totally kicked butt in the last couple Go weeks, and I'm going to ask them to come and share their stories. And, one of the beautiful things about them sharing their stories is that you realize that they're no different than you. They're no different than you. They've had their wall-kicking moments. They've been in Isagenix. One girl was 3 years, and she was like, am I going to quit this? Am I going to actually do something this time? And everything just kind of aligned for her, and she did the do, like she'd never did it before and had the success. Like, you can relate to everyone's story. So I want to get those people on here for you guys so that it's constant fuel for your tank. So Sunday nights, are you guys committed to Sunday nights for like the next 4 weeks? 8 o'clock? Okay. All right. What else did I want to tell you guys? So in combination with a checklist that that you're gonna have, and I put this document in Start Canada so you can print it off and start to go through it yourself. This week is setup week. Still connect, still do your reach outs, still do your follow-ups, but this is setup week. Is that it really is about being mindful of what's happening. So how many of you had jumped into the last bedtime belly buster, one of the belly busters that were going a week or so ago? Had some of you guys jumped into that? Okay, cool. So if you're not familiar with what that was, one of the teams, Kelly Dickerhoof and Kayla Kraft, had run a bedtime belly buster. So what myself and Jen Bull and a few other, Carol Fulong and Janie, what we did was we basically modeled it, and we started a bedtime belly buster, and it ran for 2 weeks. Last week was a transition week. We're moving people into a summer program. So what we want to be able to share with you guys is that you can invite your people to join this group. We're doing a summer maintenance program right now where it's like 4 or 5 shake days. 2 days is the weekend barbecue, do your thing. Don't be ridiculous, but have a good time. And then Monday is a cleanse day. So that's what we're starting to work people into. The plan was to do that until the week of June the 12th, which was Go Week, Shake Drop Week, and then start a new belly buster the 19th of June. We may have to play around that a little bit because we blew out the Isopro with the belly busters. So vanilla is not available in Canada, only that I know, sorry Jace. Chocolate is only available in Canada, so I'd encourage you to stock up on that right now. They're saying June 12th, I think, in Canada for the vanilla Isopro to come back. I believe so. The States is expected later. So, and the States doesn't have any. They're out of chocolate and vanilla. So we're going to play around with, what are we going to do right now? And I think the biggest thing we have to do is
out of being pro.
What do you mean? Yeah. So the biggest thing that we're going to have to do is, people can do it with the shake. It's not exactly the same because there is more carbs in the shake, but for the dairy-free people anyways, they were doing 1 scoop of dairy-free or 3 tablespoons, which equals 1 scoop for the belly buster routine. The belly buster routine is a nighttime routine. People do it for 2 to 3 weeks or however long they want with the sleep spray and the greens and the Isopro or half a shake. And, the idea is that it really does scientifically help reduce, puffiness, helps you get a great sleep, helps the, body repair and give you good energy for in the morning. So people were getting great results. People loved it. It is quick. It is simple. For some people not committed to doing a full 30-day right now, it's a way for us to transition them in. Ultimately, we know that we want to put the food in our body every day, but whatever we have to do to get people going, yeah, the bars can work too. As long as you're drinking tons and tons of water. I'm not sure about bars at night. My body wouldn't do that well, but so anyway, we will let you know about that. But that's the whole thing, is we're going to be incorporating that piece as well, and I'm going to share with you tidbits on that in the Start Canada group. So if you have any questions, you want to contribute, you want to know more about it, let us know. But feel free, all of you are welcome to bring your people into that, okay? We do exercise, workouts, there's, you know, lots of science background, there's lots of, you know, shares on motivation, that kind of thing. What was the other thing? I think that was about it. I think that's about it. So for this week, what I'm going to ask you guys to do is, number one, you're going to go through, there's 2 checklists in that document that I posted. One of them says task list for leaders, okay, to be completed. You're all leaders, I just want to say. But the other one says task list for new sharers. So it's just that if you're just getting started, you're kind of feeling a little, you know, like sphincter moment, like PK says, about doing a full-on go week. Start with the, you know, the sharers list. Start to go through it. It says to set up a call with your leader or accountability partner as number 1 to develop your well-formed outcome. Has anyone ever been through that exercise? You guys know what that is? No? Okay. It's almost 8:30. I can go through one with one of you if you would be willing to put your hand up and go through that. Taylor, you want to do that? Okay. So this is, okay, Taylor, hold on. So this is something that Susan Sly did with a lot of the women that were at the MPW event, the Most Powerful Women's event, and we stayed at the house for 2 days into this intensive. So we did, besides a lot of other exercises, this is one of the exercises that we did. So I'm going to do it. It's going to be unique because we're not one-on-one, Taylor. So I know that I'm appreciative that you've put your hand up and said that you'll go for it. If you guys want some assistance with this and you want me to go through this with you, let me know, or someone else. If you guys have a connection here that you're closely connected with, you can follow the same steps, okay? So Taylor, I'm going to ask you, have you thought about what your goal is, for what your goal would be for a Go Week?
Well, my goal, like overall, I want to be executive by that cutoff date. So, I mean,
Okay.
Going through Go Week is just like laying out those stepping stones as well for that.
Okay, awesome. So why is it so important for you to achieve Crystal Executive?
It was a goal that I set like a year ago when I was kind of like planning, like thinking about starting my business. Like I just turned 18, so I kind of wanted to, you know, just kind of get into the hang of things. I really, I just really think that it would be powerful to be able to help just people in general. And like 10 is a good number. Like I always do math with 10s because it's just an easy number to play with. So like to be able to help 10 people and then have them help the 2 people and have that duplication would just be really powerful for me.
Fantastic. So here's what I want you to do, is I want you to think about, you know, you're at the place, okay? I'm going to get you to even close your eyes for a minute. Okay, so play with me on this. So we've gone through the next month. You've worked like you've never worked before. You have connected with more people than you ever even thought possible. You have helped more people than you could have imagined share Isagenix with a few friends. You've got this incredible budding team started, and you've accomplished your goal of Crystal Executive well before the deadline. And I want you to think about what that feels like. I want you to think about how that feels on the inside, and, you know, what does that bring to you? Think about how you're celebrating. What are you going to do to celebrate that accomplishment? Either with yourself or with your family or with your team. Think about some sort of a celebration and what's happening. I want you to really put yourself in that space. What does it look like? What are you doing? What does it feel like? Can you smell anything in the area? Is there like a scent associated with it? Is there a feeling? What is the feeling? What are the sounds? What are you hearing in that celebration? You have totally knocked it out of the park. You have earned that title of Crystal Executive, and because of that, you have helped, over 30 people basically get started. How amazing does that feel?
It's pretty good.
Okay, so I want you to talk a little bit. I'm doing this a little quicker than I normally would, guys, but I want you to talk about, so what were some of the things that came up for you? What were you feeling about that? What were the feelings?
It's a lot of like peace and gratitude, and like peace just being like just knowing that that I was like able to accomplish that personal goal for myself, and then the gratitude that I have the ability to help other people accomplish their personal health goals, which pretty powerful.
Totally. And so what are some of the other feelings?
Those are, the two that stood out. Like, I guess, like, joy, and just really happy for the fact that, like, I just happy. It would be.
How are you celebrating? What were you doing?
Celebrating. I was on the beach in Mexico. I was celebrating. Me and one of my friends were actually planning a trip down to Mexico at the end of the summer. So I was celebrating there.
Okay. Awesome. So when you think about that, is there a color that comes to mind?
A color?
When you're in that space and you're thinking about that trip, that celebrating with your friends, is there a color that comes up for you, or a sense or a color that comes up for you?
Orange. I don't know why, but orange comes up.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is there something in your space or something in your world that is orange?
I don't think so.
So I want you to take a look around, and I want you to focus on something that is orange. And chances are you may find a flower, you may find a rock, you may find a piece of jewelry, you may find something that is orange. And what I want you to do is I want you to put that in your space, put it somewhere where you're going to see it, and that's your new anchor.
Okay.
So whenever you're starting to think about, you're having a day, people aren't getting it, whatever, you're like looking at that anchor, you're like, nope, this is what I'm working towards. And this is going to take you back to that place and back to that feeling. Okay. Thank you for sharing with us.
No problem. Thank you for doing that with me.
Awesome. Tara, can I ask you to jump out? I feel compelled to ask you to jump out. The universe is kind of telling me to talk to you right now. So
yeah.
Are you willing to do that? Okay.
Absolutely.
My heart is pounding right now. I don't know why. I have to breathe. Okay. So have you thought about what your next goal is and what it is that you want to work towards with the Go Week?
Yeah, well, actually, it's so funny that you felt like compelled to talk to me, because I felt like really that I needed to talk about it too. I had been in like quite a bit of a funk recently without even realizing it. And recently somebody actually called me on it, and I was like, holy crap, I'm totally in a funk. And so right now my focus is trying to stay consistently manager, but I also would absolutely love to hit that Crystal Executive deadline. Like, it's been something that I've been gunning for like for pretty much a year now, same as Taylor. And it just, yeah. And I've recently been like burst with this new energy that has come. So yeah.
Awesome. So why is it, what does Crystal Executive mean to you?
Well, I mean, start party for one.
That's awesome.
And also, I kind of reaffirmed with myself recently that the most important thing for me that I want to do is just absolutely change a bunch of people's lives in a really big way. And I think that executive is really a reflection of that, and like proof of that. And if I can even help 10 people get paid as consultants, like that's just even the first step towards doing that. So
yeah, awesome. Yeah. What is it going to feel like for you so if you want, you can do close your eyes and get into it a little bit. I want you to think about, manager is a non-issue. Okay. You're already telling yourself, I'm a manager. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're already telling yourself, I am a Crystal Executive, and you're maintaining that. All right. And you constantly do the do. that it's just a given that you've achieved it, you're staying there. So knowing that you're in this space of having this incredible Go Week, you've got a few people that have put their hands and said up, Tara, I'm totally doing this with you. I am not missing out on this with you. We are going all the way. And I'm going to work with you on this as long as it takes. And you are in a place where you are celebrating the fact that you have achieved Crystal Executive. You get to go to the Crystal Rally. You know, you're going to the start party, and you've got team there with you. And you're celebrating in the biggest way. What are you feeling? I want you to think about what you're feeling. I want you to think about, you know, what it looks like. What are the things that you're doing with your people? How are you acknowledging them? How are you appreciating them? How are you feeling being at the event? You know, how are you feeling knowing that you've done the do to get to the, you know, sort of the top leadership position with your company? And this is not a hobby for you. This is so much more than that. This is what is fueling your passions for you to do all the soul goals that you want to accomplish. You're on your way, and you're taking people with you. I want you to think about what it sounds like. I want you to think about what it feels like. Think about what you're wearing even. Think about who you're spending time with. Think about what you guys are doing. What are the conversations? What are people saying to you? Put yourself in that space. I want you to breathe it all in. Take a deep breath and breathe it all in. Awesome. Do you have a good picture? Do you want to share it?
Yeah. Oh, I'm like, sorry.
Don't be sorry. This is the goods, guys. This is the goods. This is where you want to get.
Oh my gosh, like, it just like mean honestly so much. I'm just like, I picture us all at Celebration together and like, you know, working together with my like huge tribe of, I really want to like inspire other women to do this thing and like to be there with like a bunch of girls that I'm like super love and who want to do this with me. That would just like be the best thing in the world. And yeah, at Celebration together, just like kicking butt. And I love spoiling the people that I'm friends with, so I can't wait to, you know, reward them all and like buy them all their gifts.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I want you to think about, you know, was there a feeling, a particular feeling or of, you know, something in the air, a particular color? Were you know, sort of envisioning anything unique, something you were wearing, something you were doing, a place that you were sitting? Was there anything specific that came up for you?
Well, I mean, we were all wearing kick-ass high heels.
Stilettos.
Yeah. And sorry, can you repeat that? I'm just,
I just want you to, what I want you to do, and you don't have to do it right now, but guys, when you're doing this, if you want someone to talk you through, it's helpful because they can prompt you. But a lot of times when we think about, you know, like with, you know, Taylor Ray talking about being at the beach, and if I'd gone a little longer and a little deeper with you, like for me, what a lot of times what color comes up for me when I'm feeling joy and I'm feeling in that place is the color purple for me. That's the color purple, like that's my color. And some people that I spoke to, the color yellow came up, the color blue came up, like different, is that, yeah. So different colors will come up. And what you can do is and it's kind of almost like a feeling, like it's hard to describe it. It's almost like an aura, you know, when you're in that, like it could be pink when you're in a place of love with a bunch of girlfriends and, you know, whatever that is. But to think about something that kind of anchors you to that. So if it's a high heel, put a high heel on your desk. Like, you know, if it's whatever it is, but think about an anchor that is going to attach you to that. Like, you know, Sarah and Jason, it might be a place they want to go with the kids, Disney ears or something. It might be whatever. Maybe it's a hot, sexy couples weekend. Like, I don't know, like you put a bath towel on the desk or something. I don't know, like, but pick something that's kind of like an anchor in how you're going to celebrate accomplishing the goal, because you're going to have those days, guys, where you're going to think this isn't working. People aren't getting it, you know, and I'm tired today. My day got blown out of control. Like, you know, whatever. You got to come back to that place. You got to come back to that anchor. You got to close your eyes and visualize that celebration, because that is what's going to keep you in the game. Peter Kelly talks about writing our script and writing our script for our life, writing our script for, she's written her script for her birth of the baby. Like, You write your script. Like I've written Money, a Love Story. Like you write your script and you read your script morning and night. And you can do that kind of thing. For me, I like my anchor. I have a purple lotus flower. I got it when I went to see the giant Buddha in Hong Kong, and it just opens up all kinds of spiritual channels for me. So I just have that anchor, and that's what, you know, I stay so connected to. So is this making sense to you guys? Do you guys understand this? Am I going too woo-woo for you? Okay. Okay, cool. Awesome. Thanks for playing full out, you two.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay. I won't keep you guys any longer because I did promise that we would keep this call short. So I hope that this is giving you some value and giving you kind of a new revitalized excitement. And here's the thing is that we're coming into this typically, if we look at, you know, those of us that have been here for a few years or more, if we look at our businesses, typically this time of year is a busier time of year because people are like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be in a bathing suit soon. This is the time of year when people want to start making some changes. And then it does tend to get a little bit, for some people, it may get a little bit slow. Now, I'm not going to put that story in your head. I'm not giving you an excuse that summer's going to suck because it's up to you. You can decide summer is going to be freaking amazing. I'm going to be enrolling people all summer long, right? That's your choice. But what we're doing with this is we're getting the momentum going. So that is exactly the situation. We lead into celebration in an amazing place. We come out of celebration in an even more amazing place. How do you not come out of Tony frickin' Robbins and not be flying high and kicking ass in your business, right? So this is what we're doing. This is why we're doing this, is we really want to, you know, create this massive wave of momentum that keeps going. You know, I think it's super exciting, and I'm so grateful that you guys are willing, you know, to join forces with us and to do this, because I think, you know, teamwork makes the dream work. I say it all the time. You know, Jamie always says more hands make light work. We're doing this together. It's exciting. It's fun. It's all out of love. It's all out of acceptance, and it's all out of, you know, non-judgment. You know, comparison is the thief of joy. If you choose to compare, it's up to you. We're not comparing you to anyone else. We're loving you where you're at. But I am going to say that we are going to kick asses a little bit here, and we're not here to sugarcoat and pat each other on the back and say, woe is me, right? We're going to dust ourselves off, and we're going to keep going, and we're going to keep moving. All right. On that note, I love you guys. I'm going to pass you back to Kim. And Kim, if you don't mind sharing a little bit about the plan for we're doing this and then what's going to be happening with the start call. Are you cool to do that?
Yes. Yes, if I remember.
I'll jump in to fill in blanks if you need.
I got my notes here. Thank you, Tinya, for doing that. I had a bunch of people private message me and be like, this is so amazing. This is so powerful. I get really teary every time that happens. I've gone through that exercise as well. I think I wrote in the group chat, for whatever reason, I always smell popcorn. I don't know what it is. I think it's because I have such a sweet tooth for like really expensive gourmet, like caramel covered chocolate drizzle popcorn. And I just always smell popcorn. So I love that exercise. Thank you so much, Tara and Taylor, for jumping in and helping out with that. I can tell it had a huge impact, and we're all really grateful that you shared yourself with us. Go weeks are phenomenal. I just want to share a really quick story I had with my go week. So we did a go week. I think it was, my team did a go week. I think it was actually right close to after celebration. Financially, I paid off my celebration, like my entire Vegas trip in one Monday paycheck, which was like absolutely mind-blowing for me. When I paid it down, I started crying because I thought I was going to be paying it off for a really long time, and I had done a lot of financial sacrifice to get to Vegas last year. Being able to pay it down was amazing, but more than that, I actually made like top enroller on Pam Barnum's team, which was phenomenal. And I also, like, above all the recognition I got and being able to pay down that Vegas trip, I had more enrollments and had served more people than I had thought I could even do in a week. And it was incredibly overwhelming, almost anxiety inducing to the fact, because I realized that change is really scary and leaping out of your comfort zone is really scary. But the texts of gratitude and watching the people I serve really improve their lives, physically, financially, emotionally, made it all worth it. And it was really during that go week that I decided that I wanted to do this full time for real. And so go weeks, and that was not actually something I'd expected. I went in and I was like, I'm going to go as hard as I can, and maybe I'll enroll a person or two, and I might rank advance someone. And by the end of the week, I just was blown away, because once you get that momentum going and you put out to the universe, and I used to think this was all a sham. I used to be Pam Burnham. I used to think that vision boards were for people that like had nothing better to do. And then I started reading some books and doing personal development, and I realized that what you put out to the universe is what you get back. And it was like all of a sudden I was hearing from people I hadn't heard from in like 10 to 15 years. I had like my elementary school teachers writing me, asking me what I was doing. And it's like when you radiate that servant leadership and you radiate energy and joy and happiness, people go to that. And so that was my little Go Week story, and it was phenomenal. I went in with expectations of myself and I blew those all away, and I've never been so proud of myself, and being proud of yourself is a really amazing feeling. So I encourage everyone to set goals higher than you normally would. I encourage everyone to set goals, go at this 100%, because like Tinya said, even if you don't reach your goals and you set them so high, you're still going to get to a point than if you set them too low. And it's all about helping people. That's why we're here. We are here to help people and get them on the track that they want to be at and help them reach their goals, whatever they are at. Okay, so sorry, I don't want to take up too much of everyone's time. So like Tinya said, the next 4 weeks are going to be for Go Week prep. There is a checklist in Start Canada. Please go check out that checklist. Tinya already kind of showed it to us. It is a phenomenal checklist. Print it out, laminate it, put it on your wall, put it somewhere where you can visualize it, and you can make sure that you are going to adhere to it. One of the biggest things I saw on that checklist, which is really important, is try not to plan any like massive social events that week. Obviously, there are times that you know, someone's birthday or something, you know, maybe a family member's asking you to go to. But if you want to have like a massive boozy barbecue one, maybe not that week, maybe the week after. So just keep that in mind. Tinya just said in the group chat she's going to add a new one every week to keep us on track because she's amazing. So please check that up and Start Canada, and make sure that you send it to your teammates or anyone in your team who you know is going to be interested in Go Week and taking their business to the next level. And please remember that whatever level that is, not everyone has to reach Crystal or Crystal Executive. Not everybody has to want to, hit 3-star or hit Star Ambassador. For those that do, I'm one of them, that's amazing. But for those that just maybe want to hit consultant or share with one new person every day, or maybe just step out of their comfort zone and, reconnect with people and get their retention up, that's also amazing. Just make sure that you recognize and that you express to your team members that there's not one goal. It's whatever goal is good for you. So that's just something I want to reiterate. Okay, so after those 4 weeks, we're going to have the Go Week. The Go Week's going to be amazing. We're going to have a lot of social media interacting. We're going to have a lot of social media engagement. And there's going to be a lot of, there's going to be Zoom calls that are going to be, I believe, Tinya, if I remember correctly, we're going to have some pretty quick Zoom calls. We're going to have Zoom blitzes. I'm just looking at my notes now from our committee meeting. We're going to have Zoom blitzes. And our last call is going to be June 11th. Okay, so mark that down in your calendar. So 8 p.m. Eastern time for the next 4 weeks, and then Go Week. So make sure you mark that down. And like I said before, we're going to have Zoom blitzes during Go Week. They're going to be quick Zoom calls. Maybe we'll have free codes. Maybe we won't. We'll have to jump on and see. If you don't jump on, you're not going to know. So make sure that you're staying really connected and really engaged during that week. That's really important. Make sure that you write down when Go Week is. After we have Go Week, we're going to be taking a schools out for the summer little break on the Start Canada calls. That's not Stop Your Business. That's just specifically on the Start Canada calls. I know, Tara, don't be too sad. We are still going to have lots of engagement. A couple of us have our own calls we want to start. And we're going to be posting in the group for those as well. It looks like we're going to have some people take up their own, sort of their own calls and their own ideas. So there are going to be more calls going on that you can hop on. Personal development calls, accountability calls, to say a few. Just this specific call is going to take a break until September. When September rolls around, we are going to roll into possibly a new format. We're going to roll into new hosts and a new, very updated Start Canada committee. We've had a lot of new people really step out of their comfort zones and into their leadership roles in this committee. So like I said before, 4 more weeks of this call, Go Week. Yes, we can do a celebratory call after Go Week, maybe do some shout outs, and everybody can kind of reflect on Go Week and what went right. Maybe not the 18th of June because it's Father's Day, so we can choose a different day, and we can figure that out. We can let all you folks know when that will be. After that, we'll take a break from these calls specifically. Again, there will be more calls going on, and then we will start back up in September. Tinya, if I missed anything, please jump on.
No, I think you covered it. Okay. And I think that, I just want to let you guys know as well that I will be taking a step back. And so I won't be perhaps on the calls in September. I may jump on every once in a while, but basically, as I had intended, I intended this to be created and for it to become a well-oiled machine so that I can pass it on to the start peeps. I'm getting choked even thinking about that. But I just know that it's really time for me to do some other things. This was something that I really wanted to help get going, but I never intended to be here always. And you guys are doing such a phenomenal job, and the committee is just doing such a phenomenal job that it's time for me to sort of kick the birds out of the nest, and time for me to do some things, building some other projects that are soul projects for me, and continue to grow my own business. So that's part of the transition. Please let us know, what you've loved, what you feel could be improved, how you'd like things to be different. If you would like to step up and do a little bit more as well. The whole idea is that Morgan has been a huge help. She's been my right-hand girl, and we've mentioned this before, but and now we've got these amazing people, with Kim and Tara and so many of you on this call that have stepped in. And I would what's going to happen is more of them will be taking little pieces of the pie. So that, again, it's this fine-oiled machine. It's not a make-work project for anybody. Everyone knows what their role is. And these calls continue to grow. You guys continue to grow your businesses. And, it continues to serve the purpose. Maybe more happens in terms of, more opportunity meetings. You guys are being asked to speak more on stage at events and things like that. That's where I would personally love to see it go. So anyway, I don't need to go on and on about it. But that's kind of the piece of the puzzle, is that I will be sort of stepping down and popping in and keeping my eyes over you guys. I know my ID is only going to last for so long. You guys haven't kicked me out yet. So anyways, okay.
Yeah, I refuse to think about you leaving yet because we still have 4 more weeks.
Okay.
I'll think about it then, but
okay.
I can't think about you leaving yet. Tinya has been our complete start mom. I don't know how else to explain her. She's the amount of work. I couldn't have imagined the amount of work that goes on behind the scenes until I got behind the scenes and realized there's a lot of work that goes into Start Canada calls, from not only connecting with who's going to be the star in the spotlight and the host and the business trainer, or who's going to do the belief piece, but also ensuring that they stay compliant, and that there's so many amazing pieces that go into it. And Tinya has taken such a massive chunk of it on herself to keep these calls going. So massive thank you to you, but I'm not saying goodbye yet because I just can't see that yet, and you can't either by the looks of it.
No, and each and every one of you guys are ready to. A lot of you have already stepped up and you're doing amazing jobs. You don't really need me anymore, so it's all good. I've done my job. I've been the vessel. Awesome.
You have. Awesome. Well, thank you everyone so much for jumping on, staying engaged in the chat. There is so much excitement and joy and power. I've got people writing me on Facebook that, are kind of quietly sitting on this call that I know people now are like, oh my gosh, don't tell them. But are just really pumped for Go Week. So get ready for Go Week. Something I did a lot with my TED Talk, which was the biggest jump outside my comfort zone ever. Because TED Talks, you don't have teleprompters, you have no one reading your lines. It's just 10 minutes on stage where you have something scripted and you can't really mess up, was visualizing. So if you need to visualize what your Go Week is going to look like, if you're going to visualize what your Go Week is going to feel like and taste like and smell like, start your visualization, start putting it out to the universe, have your anchor, and, get ready, because it's never too early to prep. And we're going to really set you guys up to have the best week possible, the most successful week possible, and whatever success looks like to you. So thank you everyone for jumping on. Tinya, do you want to do a...
You guys ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Awesome. You guys rock. Thanks for sticking around, guys. Thank you, Kim, host with the most. And to all of you. Big love, you guys. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.